Hello my sweet friends and welcome to DIY with Nadia. This cuteness overload right here is my puppy Louie, and in today's video we are going to do a spin on a ruffle wreath. What kind of spin? Well, we're not going to use a regular wreath form. We are going to use an evergreen wreath form, and I'm going to be using this one. It is a 2-layer wreath form and it was sent to me by TMIGifts. The team at TMIGifts are offering a 20% discount on items in the store that are not on sale, and the code is DIY with Nadia 20. They have everything from home decor to, of course, wreath decor, and I love the pics they have for wreaths. Really, really pretty. In the description box below, you will also have a link to all the items that I used in this wreath and everything else that they sent me, and also to their store. With that being said, let's get started on our beautiful Ruffle evergreen wreath. Let's go over the supplies for this wreath. I'm going to start with 2 rolls of this red Deco mesh. It's 10 inches in width by 10 yards. Then I'm going to use some beautiful ribbon. All the ribbon has wired edges. This hard one is 2.5 inches, this one 2.5 inches, and this one's 1.5 inches. Here are the 2 picks that I'm going to use. I chose these because of the different colors. They go really nicely with the little bears on the sign. You are very sweet. How adorable is this sign that we're going to use? Zip ties, a 15-inch placemat. You will also need some pipe cleaners for this wreath. The evergreen wreath form we're going to use is a 24-inch wreath form. What that means is you're going to grab your petals, lay them flat, and you have 24 from side to side. The actual base itself is about 14.5 inches, but when they measure it stretched out. I have my roller cutter and I'm getting ready to start cutting my Deco mesh. For ruffle wreaths, I like cutting at 30 inches. You can cut anywhere from 28 to 34. So if you want a fuller wreath, you can go a little longer. That's just fine. My cutting mat only goes to 24, so what I do is I grab a ruler and I go to 5.5 inches because there is a 1/2 inch on the edge, and I just slide it right underneath. So I go all the way to the beginning of my ruler, even a little bit over. If you want to make it longer, then grab your little roller cutter and cut at 30 inches. Then I just roll it naturally because I want to make sure it does not fray. I'm going to put this in a laundry basket that I have to the side of me, and I'm going to cut 18 of these. My Deco mesh is all cut up, and now I'm ready to attach it to this wreath form. First thing I'm going to do is just get all that greenery to the side so we can see a clear wreath. I'm going to do 6 ruffles on the inside and 12 on that outside row. The second thing we're going to look at is the spaces in between the greenery. To have 6 pieces of Deco mesh, we are going to eye this. So if I do 1, we're going to do 2 here, 3, 4, and 5, 6. To get started, I'm going to take 2 of the pieces and I'm going to twist them. That's going to give me a solid point to start. Then I'm going to go to the exact opposite side, grab 2 pieces on this side and twist. Since we laid everything out, we can clearly see where our first 2 pieces are. Now I'm going to find 2 spots right here, and let's do a twist, fold it down, and then center twist it and lay it down. Look how clearly we can see where we're going. And do the same thing on this side. Our inside row is done. Now it's time to move to the outside row. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to raise this inner row. I'm going to raise it but not turn it in. Now that I can see the outside row, we are doing 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the edge of each of my little marks for the inside row and go about an inch on each side, and that's where I'm going to have my attachment. So I'm going to take 2 of them, twist them, lay them down, and then pick up the rest of the greenery so it stays together. We're going to sort it out later. Then I'm going to go on the other side and about an inch towards the inside here. Going to find the 2 and twist them. And as I said, we are picking the ones that don't belong there. Now we have 2 that you can definitely see. Flip some of these up. I'm going to go an inch, twist it, and then put it down. Okay, my friends, I have my 12 ready on the outside, 6 on the inside, but because of all of this going on here, what I decided to do is I'm going to work outside in because these are so much easier to see than these. So I'm going to get these attached and then bring that greenery in between, and then we'll be able to see this just fine. To make my ruffle, I'm going to make sure that my deco mesh is being curled onto the table, and I'm going to use my cutting mat as my guide because I don't have any stripes on this deco mesh. To get started, I'm going to take the edge, fold it in about an inch, center it on my cutting mat, go to the little square, and off I go collecting all the 30 inches of this beautiful red deco mesh. When we get to the end, this side should really just pop in place, and we're going to fold it in an inch. The reason is it's just natural for it to curl in because that's how it was on the roll. I got my ruffle all ready, and then I'm going to go ahead, grab my first set and do 2 twists. Let's move on to the next one. Fold an inch and off I go. I know at this point you're looking at this wreath and saying, Nadia, it looks a little Christmassy. That is all right. We are going to bring those fun colors in. We are going to bring the pink in the bow. We're going to make this look like a beautiful Valentine's wreath. I'm going to continue attaching my ruffles to the outside row, and then I will be right back. Right, my outside row is all done. Look at that, nice and even. Now we need to focus on the inside and start attaching the ruffles. Give it a twist or 2, whatever makes you feel comfortable, and go ahead and attach the rest of these ruffles. All my deco mesh is on, and the game plan is we're going to have a sign at the bottom, a big old bow on top, and to bring in more of that beautiful ribbon, I decided to do just 6 bundles. We're going to do 1 on top, bottom, and 2 on the sides. I have my ribbon, and I decided to make a funky bow. Now I know you guys are going to love this because this bow is so super easy. Anyone can do this. I'm going to cut 2 strips of this first ribbon at 28 inches. To make my life easier, I'm just going to go to 14, fold it in half. There's my 28 inches, and then I'm going to fold that in half. There's my 28 inches. Make little dovetails on both sides. Fold both of my pieces in half. Try not to make a crease on the edge. Next, I'm going to get this absolutely stunning glittery hearts ribbon. Oh, it's so beautiful. Same thing, I'm going to go to 14, fold it in half so I can get my 28 inches and get 2 strips out of this one. We're going to fold both ends and make dovetails. Fold in half and try not to crease the edge. The last ribbon we're going to add is this 1.5 inch wired pink ribbon, and I'm going to put this one in between the 2.5 inch ones. This is going to be just an elegant ribbon, and I really want that pop of pink. When it comes to this pink ribbon, I'm going to cut 4 strips at 28 inches. When I get my 4 strips, same thing, fold the edges and make dovetails. The next step is to put all my ribbon onto my bow maker. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to grab it and decide how big I want my loop to be. I want my loop to be 6 inches. That way the tail is going to stick out a little bit. So here we go. We have it at 6 inches, and I'm going to lay it down nice and flat. Then I'm going to grab this pink one, which is going to go in between every layer. And I'm going to flip it upside down. And then on this side, I'm also going to go to 6 inches. And then I'm going to go to my white one, and the loop is going to go on the opposite side. So the loops will alternate as you go up. Very simple. Same thing, I'm going to go to 6 inches, then the pink again. And that's going to go on the other side. Now we're going to get to the red again, and this time we're going to flip, and the loop is going to be on the opposite side. And now the pink is going to start looping on this side. Same thing with the white. And then our last pink, same thing, it's going to go on this side. Now this is going to be fairly tall. That is why I highly recommend using a zip tie instead of a floral wire, because zip tie can get it squished in nicer and stronger, and it will make the petals pop up even more. So I do love using my zip tie. This is the really careful part. You can either take it all off and then put the zip tie on, or you can just really carefully just kind of hold it with the zip tie and then just really zip tie super hard, because you do want that to be nice and strong. And look at that. Look at my little center. The zip tie did its work. Cutting off the tail. And now is when I come in with my floral wire, go right over that zip tie, do a few twists in the back, and this bow is ready to go on my wreath. Since we are dealing with quite a large wreath form, I decided to do 12-inch strips, and we're going to need 6 of these. As always, I'm going to zigzag up until I get 6. And then do dovetails on the ends. Grabbing my pink ribbon, same thing. I'm going to cut 12-inch strips, and I'm going to need 6 of these. To make my little ribbon bundles, I'm going to grab 3 pipe cleaners, fold them in half, and cut them in half. This is going to give me 6-inch little pieces, and this is going to be more than enough for what we need. I'm just going to overlay the pink over the white. And since I'm working on my cutting board, I can definitely see where the center is. Gather the center, make a little ruffle, bring it together with the pipe cleaner. Fold that in half, and we have our little ribbon bundle. Next, I'm going to attach the ribbon bundles, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to eye in between the ruffles right here, because we have 6 of these and 6 on the inside, and I'm going to work my way out to the outside row, and that is where I'm going to attach. I'm going to go to the next 2 ruffles, and right there in the center, make my way out and attach my ribbon bundle on the outside row. As I'm putting these in, I'm grabbing some of the evergreen and kind of making a little seat for my ribbon to be on, because I want it to be a little bit hiked up. My ribbon bundles are on, and they're nicely and evenly spread. Now I'm going to bring in that bow, and I'm going to attach it to the inner row. Once I have it attached, once again, if there are any greenery that's just floating around doing nothing useful, put it down so we have something to lay that beautiful bow on. Now let's get this beautiful sign ready for our wreath. The first thing I'm going to do is remove this jute cord. Then I'm going to grab 3 pieces of leftover felt and 3 pipe cleaners. I decided to do 3 connections, one right here, and one at the bottom. I'm going to use my true and tried method, which is just putting some hot glue on my little base. Then I'm going to fold my pipe cleaner and make a little flat surface. I call it a little seat. Attach it. Hot glue on top and at the bottom. Grabbing my felt piece, I'm going to put that right over. And I promise you it's going to hold like you can't imagine. By the way, I am using a hot glue gun. It just has black hot glue, and of course now that I'm using something dangerous, Simba decides to stop over. I'm going to put that right there. Simba, I'm watching you like a hawk. The sign is ready to go on, And now I'm just going to place it where I need it to go. Let's flip and start attaching. The two top pipe cleaners I'm attaching to row 1. And the pipe cleaner that I put in the center, I'm going to attach to the outside row. Now that the sign is taken care of, I'm going to go to the top of the wreath where my bow is and grab that piece of jute cord that we removed from the sign and make a little hanging loop. I'm just making a little knot or 2 and we have our hanging loop. Now I'm going to bring in the placemat and grab 3 zip ties. After the first one's in, I'm going to eye a triangle. That is where I'm going to attach the next 2 zip ties. Let's cut off the tails. And if you have a business card, this is where you can definitely staple it to the back. And the most important thing is these little nubbins, we're going to send them back so we don't scratch any doors or walls or wherever this beautiful wreath is going to hang. And now we are just going to start opening everything up. The ribbons that are facing down, we are going to go as close to the center of our bow as possible and give them a little twist and then just stretch them out. Now that my tails are spread out, start bringing all those loops to the center, wiggling them in, twisting them in the center so they stay up and not lay down. The more you play with it, the prettier it will look. My bow is nice and open and I'm going to continue playing with it until I feel like it's beautiful. But in the meantime, let's do our ribbon bundles. And as always, I like to kind of swoop them up, make them look like little flower petals. Wreath is almost all done. Now I have to bring in these super fun picks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach them behind my bow. Measure approximately where I want them because I am going to spread them out. And right there, I'm going to zip tie them. The reason I'm zip tying, not just putting in a pipe cleaner, is because these little picks are really strong. The actual wires right here, they are super strong. At this point, I'm going to take the tails and cut those off a little shorter. Now that I have these shortened, I'm going to go ahead and bend all of these down because we do want them to come down. When I like the way it looks, that's when I'm bringing in my pipe cleaner and attach it behind my bow. There's my bow and there are my picks. I'm going to go ahead and attach those in place. And now I'm just going to start opening these up. One last fix of my bow. Make sure those ribbons are laying out nicely. And we are done with this super cute and fun Valentine's ruffle wreath. I hope you enjoyed how this beautiful Valentine's wreath came out. For more wreath tutorials, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell button so you are notified every time a wreath comes out. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to say hello to me in the comments below. And Louie and I are going to go get some Valentine treats. In his case, a little bit of peanut butter. What do you think? Sounds good? Yeah, I saw that lip. I saw that. All right, you guys, have a great day. Bye. Mwah.